Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Tuesday. You know what that means? That means good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. You can listen to Buddy every weeknight about 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live, our late night talk show host. You missed it last night. My Super Bowl champs just demolished the Tennessee Titans. They may be the best NFL team I've ever seen. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to win it, but good gracious, are they good in every phase. And then the Philadelphia Eagles take it out on Vikings as well. So it was kind of cool to have two Monday night games. Let's go to the Titan MR hotline. We're going to be joined by Buddy Martin. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Morning, Shane. How you doing this morning?
Did you watch any football last night after your show?
I watched a little bit. I watched a little bit. There were lopsided games. Eagles looked like they might be the best team in the NFC East for sure. And so it's we're two games in. Here's the thing I'm amazed at. After this Saturday, we'll be a third of the way through the college football season with the Gators, Shane.
It goes fast.
Where did it go? Where did it go, man?
Yeah, you wait all summer long, all off season, and before you know it, it's over. But speaking of the Gators, obviously 2-1 heading up to Rocky Top. I'm excited for this trip. I haven't been to Neyland Stadium since 1992. I know it's changed a lot, but it's one of the best venues in college football. And boy, those folks are going to be fired up there, buddy.
Yeah, and you said last night you didn't have good experiences there. Two of you.
No. 0-2.
Yeah. Very rare. Probably no only place in the SEC where you haven't won a game. But it's going to be. I'm wondering how crazy it's going to be. People talking about mustard bottles and this, that, and the other, whatever. It is a rivalry again, which I'm glad for because it hasn't been. I think.
Well, hang on, buddy. Hang on. It ain't going to be a rivalry until they win.
Well, they might win this weekend. That's what I'm saying.
But we can't call it a rivalry again until they win.
Okay, I'll go with your wishes, but you get what I mean. It's a meaningful game, and now when you're 10-point underdogs, all of a sudden it becomes a rivalry. And quite frankly, a lot of people are looking for a pathway for Florida to win this game. And I know you're going to tell me today what that is, but this is the most nervous I've heard the Gator Nation in a long time because last year was different because expectations were lower. This year expectations got up. We know what happened last weekend, and it happens in college football. It was a win, but still, you're going into 106,000 people in a den there, which is a tough place to win, and your quarterback's not playing like you want him to. Your defense is spotty, and Tennessee's a 10-point favorite, and they got a terrific quarterback. So it doesn't bode well, but I'm not waving the white flag yet, okay? I'm not waving the white flag.
Dan says Tennessee, Florida is the highest resale ticket price of any game this weekend.
I saw that.
They're fired up because they know they got us on the ropes and they ain't done it. What is it, buddy? They've won 4 times or 3 times in this decade?
Yeah, I got to look it up. I had it in my notes last night. I think the numbers are obscene. I mean,
actually, I think it's like they've only won like 3 times in the last 20-something games or something like that. I can't remember what it is.
I think there's 16 out of 17 losses in Florida, I believe, last 17. I believe. Somebody's got those numbers. You know me, I'm not good with numbers, but yeah.
I got people. My people do stuff like that for us.
On Facebook Live. Yeah, I know.
You're speaking of my people, Andy says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Buddy, what did you make of AR saying that the coaches asked him to be, quote, careful? Look, I heard that, man, and I know Billy said it too, but we can't win games. I just have a hard time believing because buddy, I said at the beginning of the year, because people worried about him getting hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and I said you cannot not call plays to win the game. So I don't know if it's because of his struggles lately. I'm not saying they're using them as excuses. I don't know how I want to phrase it. I just don't buy that. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I would much rather try to win the game, whether it's him running the ball or him doing what he's supposed to do, than let's see if we can keep him safe. And oh, well, damn, we lost the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not sure how accurate all that is, although Billy did say that that's a factor.
Right.
And not having Jack Miller behind him is a concern. And you know this better than I do. I've known it all my life. You don't go out there trying not to get hurt because you probably will.
Yeah, I don't look. I love Billy, and I trust everything Billy says and what he does. But I don't know if it's where we are because he's struggling, and there's so much media and people all over the place hounding him now that they're just trying to. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say.
I don't believe it.
I get it.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
He's struggling, okay? And the coach doesn't want to come out and say he's struggling, okay?
Hey, scared money don't make money. He said it, okay? So there you go.
Yeah, I firmly don't believe that they're not calling plays. Look, he just hasn't played well. He's still a young player. Teams are going to do what they're doing, and whatever you want to say, if he completes 50% of the passes against Kentucky, we win the game.
Okay. Here's the thing. This is where old age comes in handy. I've seen this movie and the movie before it, and the movie before that, and the movie before that. I know this theme, okay? And I know, listen, Billy doesn't understand how much pressure can come down on him. This place is eating coaches alive, okay? I've been a part of it, I know. So to say, he's not the Teflon man. He's a little, I wouldn't say edgy, but you see he's a little different now. Everybody's got a theory. We all know better. We all know how to call. What's the old saying? Everybody knows how to start a fire. Everybody knows how to run a restaurant and how to call football players, right? Everybody's an expert. So they all got an idea how to do this. And social media is intensified it 1,000 times. And that's what it is. It's part of the job. He gets paid a lot of money to do this. Do I think he's a terrific coach? Yes, I do. Do I think he's the best coach that AR-15 could have? Excuse me for using that reference. It's too good of a nickname for Anthony Richardson to have. Yes, I do. And do I think he can coach his way through it? Yes, I do. Gator fans are nervous right now, and they're starting to really kind of piss people off.
All right, Andy says he's my statistician.
I know. Andy's full of it. He's got to be on my show, too. He's great.
Gators are 16-1 in the last 17 games and 29-7 since 1976. Okay, so if you go back to 1976, I go back to 1990. They've only won, I think, 4 games since 1992. I think.
I defer to somebody else's mathematic wisdom because I'm terrible with math.
Well, I'm just saying. So if we're 29-7 since 1976. I'm just going to go back to when Spurrier got here in 92. In 90. He lost to him twice with me. And I think we've only lost 4 times to him since 1990, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
I've got the numbers here if you want me to look them up. I really
don't. No, it's no big deal.
Gives me
okay, Andy says we've lost to him 5 times since 1992. Okay. So in the last 30 years, so 20, this will be the 30th game. So, yeah, we've dominated. It ain't even been a rivalry. They win, they'll think it's a rivalry.
But now things are different. I've said before the season started, I thought Tennessee might be the second best team in the SEC East, and that the game in Knoxville would determine that. And that's kind of what's going to happen, although Florida's got some work to do. I listen, but last night talking to Franz Beard, and he's right. We talked about this. Funny things happen. You've seen things happen in Tennessee. Swamp Magic happened last Saturday night when all was lost, and the holder fumbled the ball, and the kicker tried to get it through the goalpost, and good things happen. Tennessee, Things can happen. We've seen crazy plays up here before. But right now, let's be honest, as it is on paper, Tennessee's a better team. And so Florida's got some work to do and needs a lot of help to win that game. And Shane, you're going to tell us today what that is. What is that help?
What am I going to tell you today?
What is the help Florida needs to win the game? All right, you're going to tell me run the football. Don't turn it to all that stuff.
Well, it's just the cliche stuff. We got to get some break. We got to get some turnovers because we cannot score.
Got a pick six last week, Shane.
We need a couple of those. Although their dude doesn't throw it to them very much.
No, he didn't. What's his stats we talked about last night?
Ever since he's become the starter.
How about 42 and 2? Yeah, how about those stats? So
Marshall says Treon won at UT. Well, that's true, but Treon I can't remember that far back, but that is a Will Muschamp team, and they were very good on defense.
Oh, we also had the heave to cleave here in the swamp too. Remember that?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be a tremendous atmosphere. I can't wait to see it. They got the checkerboard. They're doing every section. Different, orange, white, orange, white, orange, white. Mm-hmm. So they're ready for the Gators, no doubt about it.
Yeah. By the way, Shane, real quick, look, probably interrupting you, but I have to talk. I'll forget about it. Is that who brought a lot of Tennessee's tradition with the checkerboards and the horse and all that? You know who actually started that? A Gator, Doug Dickey, started all that.
Well, so what is I love the checkerboard end zones, and the checkerboard overalls and all that. I don't understand where'd they come up with the checkerboard?
I don't know. It was just something they thought of doing. I'm sure there was a history to it somewhere, but it was Doug's idea. Doug brought a lot of pomp and ceremony. He didn't get much credit for many things. He, of course, a former quarterback from Gainesville himself. Not a really good one, but a great football coach, and won an SEC at Tennessee. Came home and it never worked like it should have worked, but it didn't. So Doug started a lot of that tradition. Went back as AD. There, and whatever. So Doug had a good run.
So Natasha tells us these are since 1990, 30 years ago, these are the only years that the Mighty Volunteers won. 90, 92, 98, 01, which was a killer, 03, 04, and 16.
You better write those down for your broadcast on Saturday.
I'll let Sean handle all that. So the checkerboards came from an advertisement in a magazine that Doug Dickey liked in 1964.
Okay. Who said that?
Dan Bond, another one of our statisticians.
Dan Bond's amazing. He's been on my show for a lot of years, and he's brought a lot of information. He's a great fan and lives out in Texas, and he watches there. He loves gymnastics, by the way. He's a good man. Good job, Dan.
Are you in the market to buy or sell your home? Darlene Weeby, a realtor with Caldwell Banker M. Paris, will provide you a fast, friendly, reliable service. Call her today at 352-562-1411 to help your dreams come true. Speaking with Buddy Martin here on the Titan MR hotline. Buddy, I got a couple texts here I got to read on the Titan MR text line. Alan in Atlanta says, admittedly, we have to work on and develop a passing game, no doubt. But we're going to get boat raced by the balls on Saturday if we play like we have the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Nightmares of 1992.
We know that. That's okay. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Anonymous. Oh, this is Tommy in Savannah. He says, hey, Shane, if all of AR's passes were within 6 inches, we would have beaten Kentucky. Well, if he just completes 50% of those passes, we beat Kentucky. And then Daryl says on the Titan MR text line, good morning, guys. Do you think that McElwain left better talent for Mullen than what Napier inherited from him? There's no question.
Yeah,
absolutely
sure.
Did.
Yeah.
Because think about just think about the offensive players that Kyle Trask had. Okay, well, Kyle was actually recruited by Mullen and Nussmeier.
Nussmeier actually found him, yeah.
But they had Kyle Pitts, Tony, elite players.
Yep.
That Mullen had. He didn't really leave him much. I wanted to bring this up to you, buddy, because somebody was talking to me the other day about our talent. I said, look, I have nothing against these kids. I just don't think it's SEC talent to the roster. I've been telling you that for about a year and a half now. Okay.
I'm frankly getting tired of hearing it.
I know, but it's facts. What's crazy to me is, who do you think our two best players on the football team are?
Well, Ventrell Miller's one, in my opinion,
Okay.
because he's so much. And I think best being you mean the potential or the one's performing. Right
No,
now, I'd have to say one of the running backs or Osiris Torrance.
Well, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going with it.
Yeah. So you got to run the ball and play defense.
Ventrell's a very good player, and I kind of forgot about him. But I feel like the two best players on our football team right now are Raging Cajuns.
To make a case for that.
Montrell Johnson and Osiris Torrance. The two kids that came. So my point being is trust the process, because Billy and all his analysts, the way they evaluate talent, I think we're going to be okay. It's just a work in progress.
Yeah. I asked you last night, Shane. I asked you again because one of my best friends, who's a really knowledgeable football fan and a longtime Gator, by the way, said to me, they got to make a change. I said, like what? Well, I got to get Shane Matthews to call the plays, and Anthony Richardson to be a tight end. That's what he said. I said, hold over there. So tell me about you calling plays.
I love calling plays, but I don't have a problem at all with what Billy has called. Because here's the thing. So what people don't understand, okay, when we run a zone read, okay, because I've had a million people ask me this, we just run the ball up behind the center for no gain. Well, people, not every play is going to score a touchdown. Not every play is going to be a positive play. That's your goal, is for every play to be a positive play. But remember, your linemen miss on blocks at times. The defense has some good players, and the other team has coaches. So not every play works. So my point to the whole thing is I have zero problem with what he has called, because we've had guys open, people harassing and don't understand. When you sit in a quarterback meeting room, you have assignments. Everybody has an assignment on every play. Quarterback has way more to look at. And it's just like the interception from the 4 or 5 yard line. We called a RPO play. I don't know their terminology, but basically let's just say it was just a base run play. Whereas if they got too many dudes in the box and you have one-on-one, you have, whether it's a slant or a fade, you have that option. You are the quarterback. You are the leader of the team. You are supposed to make these decisions, okay? Billy trusts his quarterback to do that. He made a good read. He just didn't make a good throw.
Didn't make the back shoulder throw he was supposed to make.
It should have been the way the alignment was, it should have been a drop shot, not a back shoulder.
Okay.
So, now whether Billy wants to say, you know what, Anthony, this week we're going to take off. When we call a run play, you're handing the damn ball off. He may go that route. I don't know. It just depends on if he's trusting his quarterback. So back to your story about calling plays, I have zero problem with the way he's called plays. We just haven't executed, and not every play is going to work. People need to realize that.
Yeah, good point. Good point for sure. And when it's going wrong, it's going wrong. Things don't. But let me just say this. The production out of the running game has been phenomenal, okay? Phenomenal. That's what's carrying them. You got to play defense. You don't have your best player on defense. That's hard sometimes. It's a daunting task. But those young men you talked about, plus let's not forget Trevor Etienne. I mean, what a young player he's become. He's a freshman. He's a true freshman. He's playing like he's a junior. I guess his pass blocking is okay. Look, I have things in my mind, like you said, a drop shot. I'd like to see more drop shots, all right? I'd like to see Anthony Richardson in space. I've heard all the speculation about the injuries, and got hurt. And what? Hey, you said it before. It's football. You got to play hurt, all right? It happens.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I'm tired of hearing that injury thing. It's somebody, he's hurt. No, he's out there. He's playing. He can get the job done. But I will say, tell me I'm crazy, but when you play against a zone, the way I understood it was, you got to find the creases. You got to have receivers who sit down in the pockets and get the ball to him. I also don't understand why they don't run more of the naked boot, where it's so he runs out to one side of the weak side and the tight end runs
Well,
out.
they did that. They did that against South Florida, but South Florida had it schemed up. They just had their outside backers and defensive
Well, then
ends
something
waiting
else
on
has
him.
got to be open. Then that's what
Well, they're
happened.
forcing what it is they're forcing him to stay in the pocket
Yeah,
and make reads and throws. That's what you're going to see.
yeah,
He's
I
got to
understand,
do it.
but there's an answer for that. I'd like to see a throwback. You got Whittemore there who can throw the ball. Throw the ball to him, throw it back to AR. Let him try. Get him the ball. There's ways to get him the ball better than they're doing it right now. And if they're playing scared, they got a problem. So I think he's an enormously talented young man who's had a couple of rough outings. Had one rough outing. I'm certainly tired of people saying change the position, do this, do that.
No.
Let the guy play it. Get the ball and fling it, man. Put it up there. Play ball like he knows. He said last night, and Franz Beer wrote about it today. This guy who is the coach he played for. He said his mentor in high school, Cedric. What's his last name? I've forgotten. He coached him in high school. Told him just stop trying to guide the ball. Stop trying to Here, I'll get the exact quote. Hold on a second. He said, hold on one second. Cedric D'Angelo, according to Franz, offered a bit of advice for Richardson. He said, he said I was thinking too much, Richardson said. He felt I wasn't being myself. I wasn't being Anthony. He said he could see that when I walked out there for warm-ups. So what does that take?
Well, I'll just say this. He don't need to play like he did in high school because that's how he's playing. That's my only point.
Do you agree with that assessment?
I think he needs to just play, but
that's what he's saying.
Here's why he's frustrated and he's playing the way he's playing is because teams have seen him now.
They got film, yeah. They got film.
Yes, for this year and last year, they saw what he does well, and what he does well is run the football on scramble plays. His best play is the flash play, street ball, backyard football. Would you agree with that, buddy?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so how do you keep him from doing that? Keep him in the pocket. And until he completes a lot of balls in the pocket, you're going to continue seeing what teams are doing to him. That's football. It's no different than in basketball. You got a stud coming in, you box and want him, whatever you can, take away what he does well. That's what these people are going to continue doing. We got a text on the Titan Mark text line. I'm not sure who this is from. It says, Shane, I competed in tennis and soccer, and I sometimes played better, or our team did, against good opponents, only to have bad games against the teams we were supposed to handle and beat. Is there such thing in football? Did we see that with Utah, then Kentucky, and USF? Look, yes and no. Utah, we had the entire summer to prepare for them. I bet right now, if Kyle Whittingham could replay that game, they would not play a lot of man coverage because it opened up running lanes for Anthony all day long.
Good point.
Nobody else has played this man since. Mm-hmm. And I haven't watched enough Tennessee. If I'm them, I play a soft two shell and see what happens.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I had a question, buddy, for you, and I can't remember it now. Let me see if I can.
While you're doing that, let me just say that the Titan MRI, I want to say thank you to them. They'll be our sponsor coming up next month and on your segment here. So we're going to thank you for Titan, the MRI folks, and I'll learn more about their business. And I want to say thanks a lot to Freddie and to Titan MRI. We're looking forward to doing your spots.
Yep. Joe does a fine job. So Natasha says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon, his best play right now is the broken play. You're exactly right. Joseph says, QB, is Whittemore's limitations due to talent assessment between two
I don't know what's going on there. I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah, I wish Trent would get on the field. I ain't going to lie, not because I know him and I love his family. I think he's a really good player.
Especially against his own. And what you can do with him. And I'd like to know more about what happened there. Some people aren't happy with Henderson. Look, they could put three big guys trips right. Look at the shorter and him, and they could do a lot of things. But then Anthony's got to throw the ball right, and he's got to get the touchback. That's the thing. So I don't want to see Florida. I don't want to see people give up on Florida, give up on Anthony Richardson.
I remember what I was going to. No, I don't think anybody's giving up.
Well, some have, yeah.
Well, I don't. Never mind. I was just saying we're not a very good football team, but doesn't mean you can't win games.
Beat the number 7 team in the country.
I know. I don't think.
I mean, look, that's up. I
don't think they're the number 7 team in the country.
Well, they were when they beat them, Shane.
I know that. I said Kentucky's not a top 10 team. My eyes tell me Kentucky is not very good.
I never thought they were. I still don't.
No. So back to this, because somebody sent a text about high school quarterback play. It's very, very long, and I agree with them. Jim sent this. High schools are ruining the position of quarterback. And the reason I say that is because majority high school coaches, they take their best athlete, put them at quarterback.
And
they tell them to run around,
yeah,
which is fine. They're just the days of guys dropping back, reading coverages, throwing on time, being accurate are long gone. There's a handful of them. And I have not watched anybody coming out of this class, but people get on Twitter and they laugh at Arch Manning's tape because of the talent he's playing against. But I can tell you this right now. I believe he will be a very good college quarterback because he's going to have the intangibles of
and the mechanics and the fundamentals, of course. Yeah.
Yes, that's the problem. These kids don't have that anymore. Yeah. They don't have it. Like I told you, when my kid was on the team, he was the best fundamentally sound thrower there was.
Should have been his daddy because of his daddy.
Right. Coach Spurrier used to text me after every practice and says, "Your kid's the most accurate, takes his steps, throws it on time, blah, blah, blah." Problem is he was 5'10". Okay. Yeah. But I really believe that's a problem. The way that people are using kids in high school now. And it's killing them when they get to the collegiate.
But Shane, high school coaches got to eat too. I understand their dilemma. You were one. You got to find a way to win. If that's the way you win, it's what you do.
No. What I'm saying though, I guess the point I'm trying to make is people get so enamored when these kids go to these combines and these Elite 11s.
Yeah.
That is not football. I don't care. Throwing in shorts on air and somebody doesn't mean a damn thing. Doesn't mean you can play it all. So that's my 2 cents on that. All right.
Well, I get it.
Alan says Wuerffel to Doring worked because of the enormous amount of route running these two did beyond regular practice. It was time. Well, here's the thing. Good teams, in my opinion, and I don't know, there's some good throwing teams out there, whether it's USC or Oklahoma. We threw for an hour on air because it teaches you spacing, timing, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Everybody has their own philosophies. But when you go back to the Spurrier era, which was a long time ago, and there's no reason to go back there, every one of the quarterbacks were the same guy. They all could drop back, throw, and make decisions. So
we're starting to sound like too good off my lawn, man. Here we got to be careful. So
I'm not. Look, when it comes to quarterback play, I am very.
Well, you're the best. You know about this better than anybody.
Because I've said in so many meetings, I've run meetings.
Yeah.
My favorite years in my NFL days was my last 2 years in Buffalo. Wow. Sam Weish, the great Sam Weish, was the quarterback coach.
Yeah, good one.
He kept telling me, he's like, "Look, you're going to be a coach one day. I'm going to let you run our meetings." So I ran the quarterback meetings.
Wow.
Yes. And that was my favorite 2 years in the NFL. And so there.
Okay. I hear you. Now, I'm giving you the range. You're the coach, the quarterback coach come Saturday. You got to send a message to your players. What did the coach tell us what to do?
Well, I mean, again, I have to know what I don't know, because I don't know what our quarterback can do. I mean, buddy, like I told you, we're going to run the football and we're going to gain yards on Tennessee. But can we complete the easy throws to win or to move the football? That's the
Shane,
biggest
wait,
thing.
Shane, you're not getting off that easy, okay? Don't say, I don't know. It's not an answer.
Well, I don't, because I'm not sitting in the meeting.
But you know a lot. Look, who knows more than you? You watched him play in high school. You called the games on the color. You've seen the video. Based on what you know right now, what you think Anthony
Okay, so if you're asking me what I would do with that
tell me,
quarterback,
I am
okay.
Anthony
So here's what I would do.
We would
run the football. We would run the football, and then I would go back to what Dan Mullen calling the quarterback power.
Oh my gosh! Now you give me a Dan Mullen reference. Oh my.
Well, because the Mullen quarterback run game is between the tackles. The zone read game is outside the tackle. They're not going to let you do that. So we're going to have to pound between the tackles with Anthony Richardson. And then I would drop back and take 6 deep shots. I'm just telling you, I mean, it's hard to call plays when you can't complete passes. And it's not his fault right now.
Well, he can complete some passes. There's some throws
he's going to have to.
Well, I mean, it's the quarterback coach's job to get him passes, get guys open, and the wide receiver coach, give him a route. Tell him what to do. You know, I mean, look, even I, dummy that I am, I said, get somebody to sit down in the zone.
Well, buddy, they are okay. So here's the thing: they are open. The receivers are open. We are not hitting them. I don't know how else to say it.
So then turn Anthony into a tight end, I guess.
No, you just said everybody wants to see him run, so let's call quarterback power.
You're the one who sat right here and told me when the season started about him getting hurt and running the ball. You said, "Well, we don't run quarterback power." Now you're saying run quarterback power
because you just asked me what I would do against Tennessee. Because Tennessee is going to do what South Florida did.
Of course, they're going to give him to go drop.
They're not going to allow him to get on the perimeter.
So what beats that?
Inside runs.
Mm-hmm. Hand the ball off.
Quarterback power, where you have lead blocker, the tailback's the lead blocker,
I know what it is.
everybody wants to see him run. So now we got a chance to see him run.
I don't like it.
I mean, I would not want to call that. But at the point right now, that's what teams are going to force you to do. So
basically, you let the defense dictate to you what you're going to do. You're going to say,
because you're limited. You're exactly right.
Billy is a good offensive coach.
I'm not questioning him. I think he's very good.
You are very good. There's got to be a better way. If he's not getting the ball, find a way to get the ball.
I just told you how to get him the ball.
Quarterback power?
Okay, well, what would yours be?
I told you. I would figure out a way to get him the ball any way I could. It's like Percy Harvin. I mean, look, do a throwback pass. I don't care. It's one. Let him do reverse. You
said get Anthony the ball.
Yes, I'm getting the ball to him. I'm going to give him a reverse. I don't care. Line him up out their side and bring you back and make a power, make a jet sweep. I don't know. I'm finding ways to give him the ball. However, I can do that. Yes. Anybody knows he can run the quarterback power. I don't know how well.
So here's what we're going to say. You're basically wanting to go back to the Trey Burton days when Trey Burton, if you go back and he ran the ball a ton, never threw the ball, but what the play they ran was quarterback power.
I don't want to go back to those days. No.
Well, but they're not going to let him outside. I'm just telling you right now.
What good is it to have him at quarterback then if you're not going to use it the right way?
Well, that's the only way you can use him right now. The way defenses are playing, until he completes passes.
You can't
if he starts completing passes, everything will open up.
Take more shots. I know you're going to tell me there's a deep zone, all that stuff. You got to stretch the defense. They're not taking any shots at all.
They took a shot the other night. They had
one shot is not a game make. I mean, yeah, I get that. Take more shots, whatever. Stretch the defense. They're not going to play man because he'll run the ball on him. So I guess the answer is the same old thing. Hand the ball off and play defense.
And Tennessee may play us man because they may say, you know what? We're not worried about the wide receivers beating us, and we're going to put an extra guy in the box. I don't know what they're going to do. But my point is, you asked me what I would do to get him going. Everybody in America wants to see him run the football. Nobody talks about him.
I want to see him throw it.
Well, I do too, but you need to complete passes to
step up and throw with confidence. What do they say to a guy who's a shooter in basketball who keeps missing? Keep on shooting.
Yeah. Well, the difference in that is if you go 3 and out immediately, you put our weak defense on the field. So it's a little bit different than basketball.
Getting a little too conservative for me out there, Shane. A little too
I'm not. I mean, I love being aggressive, calling plays and designing stuff. But I mean, I'll be honest. It's hard to call plays if you don't think you can complete a pass.
No kidding. And that's what's wrong with Anthony. He has no confidence.
Right. Well, you're wanting to call play. I mean, it's hard for Billy Napier to sit here and say, "Can I trust this guy to drop back and make a good decision?" And I think I firmly believe, and this is nothing against Anthony, but if Jack Miller had been healthy the last 2 weeks, he would have been inserted into those games.
He'd have played some. He wouldn't have started.
I didn't say that. I said he would have been inserted into.
And maybe he should have been. And you're right.
He deserved to be inserted.
Well, I haven't seen enough of Jack Miller yet to know that either.
Well, I told you in the summer he's the best passer on the team, and it's not even close. From an accuracy, reading.
Got to get guys open too. You know.
What's that?
You have to get guys open too.
They were open in the Kentucky game, buddy. Go back and watch the tape.
I understand that. I'm not ready to put it all on Anthony Richardson. Okay, look, I'm not going to blame him.
This is not pile on Anthony. You're asking me what I would do. You got to figure out a way, because everybody in the Gator Nation, because I asked somebody this the other day. They asked me, why do you not think Anthony Richardson's a good thrower? I said, I saw him play in high school, and he'll make some throws here and there. He'll make flash plays, but he's got to be more consistent. I said, tell me what stands out to you when you watch Anthony Richardson. They said the hurdle play against FAU, the long run against Utah, the long run against South Florida last year, the spin move against Utah. And I said, those are flash plays. I said, not one of those plays has anything to do with playing quarterback. He's a gifted athlete that made plays. Okay. So that's my point. He's got to make the flash plays, but he's got to get to where he can complete the easy plays. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Get the ball. Look, you're a coach. What do you think Coach Spurrier would do? He would find
Coach Spurrier would have put in another guy.
Well, don't have another guy, okay?
Yes. Well, they do. Here's the thing. They probably should have put in Jalen Kitna. But I think what they were waiting on.
Now you're losing me now.
Okay. Well, the only reason I say that is because if he does not complete passes this week, you're going to have to. You're going to have to. Nothing against him, but the job is to try to win the football game.
Well, Miller will be back. I don't think this week, but maybe next. I'm not sure. We'll know tomorrow, but we'll see. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just like I said last night. I have a weakness for talent. I've said this before, and I'll say it again and again. He's the most talented prospect I've ever seen in Florida at this stage. A coach's job is to take that talent and use it. Find a way to utilize it. If I'm Steve Spurrier or if I'm Billy Napier, I've got to find a way to get him the ball and use his legs, use his arm, and that's what coaches get paid for. So if he's a failure at it, hey, if he fails, okay, get somebody else in there. I still say
you're contradicting what you're saying, buddy.
Well, I'm not. I'm saying the same thing every week.
Buddy, let me just say this. When you play in professional football, you see so many talented players. I'm talking elite players that don't pan out for whatever reason. And again, I don't disagree that he has the best arm that ever played here. I don't disagree that he's the best runner that we've ever had at the quarterback position. He's the biggest, the strongest. But as I said a few minutes ago, none of that has to do with playing quarterback. I don't care if he can dunk from the free throw line. It doesn't matter. He's got to make decisions and throw accurately. And if I keep my fingers crossed. I'm hoping it happens. But that's what quarterback play is. You know, that's why Buck Bellew and I got an argument on his show a year and a half ago about Stetson Bennett. I said, Stetson Bennett is a true quarterback. He does things you cannot teach. He's accurate, anticipates, smart, and makes plays. Well, but we got JT Daniels and this guy with his strong arm. It doesn't matter. So I'm pulling for him, but we've got to. If we can't complete passes, it's going to be a long year. It's that simple. I guess we lost Buddy.
No, I'm sitting there in amazement thinking, did Shane just tell me he wants Stetson Bennett to play quarterback for Florida? I mean,
I didn't say.
Is Shane giving up on a kid 3 starts and saying he can't get it done? I mean, I'm looking at how other people are looking at it, Shane, and maybe you're right. Maybe you are right. All right.
If anybody listens to my show on any shows I'm on, they know that I've been a Stetson Bennett fan from day one because I can tell who can play and who cannot. I think Anthony can play, but buddy, again, it's the quarterback position. If you can't complete passes, this is what I tell kids when I train them. The object of playing quarterback is throwing completions. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Okay, so all right. I'm not giving up on him. I think he'll have a good night.
But I'm not giving up either. But you asked me today to tell you what I would do with Anthony Richardson to get him going. Well, everybody in America wants him to run the football. Have they not said that on your show?
I didn't say that.
I
wanted him to throw the football. I wanted him to throw the football.
Well, buddy, you can't call pass plays if you're worried about them not being completed.
I understand that. They run the ball pretty good, right? They run the ball good. What's wrong with more play action? Obviously, when you do that,
we do a ton of play action.
Well, I mean, then what's going wrong? I mean, look. Anyway, this is an endless argument,
buddy.
There's
one thing that's going wrong in the passing game. There's no other way that you got to sometimes just say the quarterback has got to complete passes.
Mm-hmm.
Take his name, being from Gainesville, his size, his arm strength out of the equation. Mm-hmm. If he was playing at Maine, doesn't matter who's playing.
Yep.
Your quarterback has to complete passes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the kid. I text the kid. I tell him every time, throw completions. All right. What else you got, buddy, before we let you go? Who you got on the show tonight?
David Whitley will be on from the Gainesville Sun. We'll have a little bit of John Adams interview, which are playing later in the week. He's a longtime columnist for the Knoxville News Sun. We've seen a lot of these games. We'll talk about the subject of the so-called rivalry of Florida, Tennessee. You say it's not a rivalry. I say it is. It's back on. Is there a clear path where Florida can win this game? Gator fans are very nervous. The line's gone from 8.5 to 10, now to 11. It may be 13.5 at kickoff. So there you go. Would you take 13.5? I don't know. I'm not a gambler, but it's going up. We'll see. I want to see what Billy's got. He gets paid to do this. Let's see what he's got.
Let me ask you this question before we let you go, because we won't talk to you next week.
Mm-hmm.
The Gators are one of 3 teams in America that have not thrown a touchdown pass.
Yeah, I know.
Do we throw one this week?
Yes.
I hope so, because it's us, South Florida,
right,
and Hawaii.
There were 7 last week. And if I told you before the season started we'd be at this point and Anthony Richardson would have had a touchdown pass, you'd bet me $1 million.
Well, yeah.
And I would have too. So who knows? So something's wrong, got to be fixed.
Well, it's simple. Throw completions. It ain't like we're curing cancer. Throw completions. You do that.
Sounds pretty easy.
It is very easy. It is extremely easy. So,
all right, buddy. Put one more back here. Let him. He'll complete one.
Trent's not a quarterback.
No, I'm just saying he can throw completions.
Well, he can throw the trick plays, but look, I know Trent very well.
It's my joke. It's my little joke.
It's your joke. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see what happens. Well, anyway, all right, Shane. We'll see you. We'll talk to you next Tuesday on my show. I won't be on with you next Tuesday morning, right? You won't be here.
Yeah, you will.
Oh, well, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought you were kicking me off after this.
Nope. That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Take No More Hotline. We'll take a time out, come back, got a ton of texts and Facebook Lives to get to. You're watching and listening to Pot Up Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Points, where the Gators go to celebrate. With premium brands like Escape Apology, F45 Training, Regal Cinemas, Dave & Buster's, Nike Prime and Pearl, HBC's Restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now selling Head Beer Coach American Lager in 16-ounce cans at Spurrier's, Visors, and Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. See you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. Me and Buddy go at it. He's got his thoughts. I got my thoughts. That's what makes sports talk radio and podcasts go. People have their own opinions. Alan says in Atlanta, he says on the Titan MR text line, I'd be happy to have a Trey Burton game planned for Saturday like 2012. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, everybody I talk to, we got to get Anthony running, and they're not going to let him get outside. So you're going to have to run quarterback powers for design runs, that is. Zach says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mello, where's your son playing now? Would love to know how he's not playing anymore. After the Cotton Bowl game, he decided he'd had enough. He's a student in construction management, hunts, fishes, plays golf, has a pretty good life as a college student. So unfortunately, he had no height, but was a unbelievable high school player, and would have been a really good college player too. Anyway, so just so I know, just so you people know, and maybe I didn't get my message across very clear, or maybe you don't understand. I have nothing against AR. I'm just saying we have got to complete passes. People are open, and that is the object of your quarterback. Now, if you want your quarterback just to run, we might as well line up in the wishbone like Georgia Tech and Army and Air Force and go play. Andy asked, Shane, did you see the video of Eli Manning being a walk-on? Yeah, it was great. The Mannings are hilarious, but that was outstanding. If you haven't seen it, you Google it, folks. Eli shows up at a walk-on tryout at Penn State. It was hilarious. I loved it. Let's see what this says. Don says the proof of a successful QB that doesn't have to run is number 9. Well, look, none of the Spurrier quarterbacks ran. I'm not saying we don't want Anthony to run. I'm just saying you got to complete passes. You know, I don't know what else to say. If anybody disagrees with that, I don't know what the hell kind of football they watch. But you have to complete passes. Also, don't forget today, if you're bored at work, listen to WRUF. Coach Spurrier, myself, and Steve will also do Inside the Huddle, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Coach is pretty funny on that show. Lamar says, when is the city of Gainesville going to do something about Citizens Field? shame on the city of Gainesville. Can't agree with that more. I was harping on it a couple of weeks ago, Lamar. With 3 high schools playing out there and as much rain that happens here, they got to do so. I'm opposed to turf, but you have to with 3 high schools playing out there. They do a tremendous job. Clint is the grounds crew guy out there, but he can't help what Mother Nature deals him with all the rain. So, but yeah, they got to do something. So, Daniel says, Buddy drinks the AR Kool-Aid. I get it. And I have no problems with that. You have to complete passes to win football games if you're on a good team. Let's see here. Facebook Live. Charlie says, Shane, a few weeks ago, Buddy laughed at the experts not picking AR as a top 10 QB. I hope the kid wins the Heisman one day, but he's not there yet. Well, here's what I said. Those top 10 quarterbacks that we talked about leading into week 1, I remember Buddy and I went at it about that. Those were all established quarterbacks that were returning that had put up good numbers and won a bunch of games. And did he have the right to be in there? I don't know. But the other guys had performed. And, I never saw week 2 PFF top 10 quarterbacks. I never understood the hype after game 1 for the Heisman because the numbers weren't there. It's all about numbers on the Heisman Trophy. So he's not going to win the Heisman, which may be the best thing. I don't know if NIL is an issue with him. I saw some attorney after the Utah game says his value went from like $750,000 to $1.6 million. I don't know if he's getting that. I don't know how that works. But like I told you, these people that give this money, they want a return on their investment. Zach says, Shane, will we be the best defense the Vols have faced to this point? Vols should have lost to Pitt if their QB didn't go down. I think Pitt's defense is probably more solid than ours. They have a defensive-minded head coach. They are always good. I mean, it's hard to tell. We'll see. I mean, we're going to have to play better defensively this game than we have all year long because they're very good offensively. They're real good, by the way. I'm anxious to see what they do defensively, if they force Anthony to throw or if they just sit back and play it safe. Joseph says, Shane, your preseason pick is now the favorite in 1A after Madison loses to Lake City last week. Who was my preseason pick? Union County, maybe? I don't remember. Lamar says, can you get him to play for you in Orlando? Who are we talking about, Lamar? AR? Asa asks, is Ventrell healthy? I don't know what the status. I doubt he plays this week. I have not seen the depth chart will come out on Wednesday, and you'll probably know if he's suiting up or not, but I doubt it because you don't want it to linger all year long. Let's take our final time out, come back, wrap up this Tuesday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Ruzover State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreninsurance.com, 352-240-1779. This day in sports brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Give Comfort Temp a call at 352-376-2366. 2021 Kansas City Royals Salvador Perez hits his 46th home run to break Hall of Famer Johnny Bench MLB record for the most in a season by a catcher. That's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have JC. We'll do some picks for the Thursday night games, Peachland Dental. And we'll have Mike Morgan from ESPN get his thoughts on what's going on. And we'll go from there. Lamar says Florida State week, you can have Terrell Buckley on. Of course we will. We'll have T-Buck. And, Joseph, I think Union County. I like Union County a lot this year. They don't look like a 1A team to me. All right. Well, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tell all your friends and family to follow our programs. We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you check out Buddy's show every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, Mike Morgan from ESPN. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.